Hey guys, how are you doing today? This is Z-Town Train. This is just a basic dude vlog, and I thought that we might take a little look-see at a piece of cheap gear, some cheap survival equipment. So we're going to take our mitts off that are keeping our hands warm, and we're going to take a look at this silly piece of gear that I picked up for $1. Because all of our gear, we get them at hardware stores, we get them at Walmart, we get them at odd places, and you can find just the strangest things. And I think this is really cool. I don't know how it's going to work or if it's even that useful, but here is the UST Survival Card Tool 0.5. Now, if you remember, we did the Beast 0.5, so I'm starting to think that that 0.5 had nothing to do with it being a 5-in-1 tool, because this has, or claims to have, more than 5 things on it. Let's take a look-see here, and we're going to do a little reading. It has a knife edge, a flathead screwdriver, a bottle opener, a ruler, a 4-position hex wrench, a direction ancillary indicator, which I don't know what that is, but I think it has something to do with finding your direction by the sun. I'm going to have to take a look into that. It has a 2-position hex wrench, a lanyard hole, a saw blade, a butterfly wrench, which just looks like a slot in the card, and a can opener, because you know you cannot get by every single piece of survival gear that we look at, except for the Beast multi-tool, has had a can opener on it. You know, because cans. So let's just get this bad boy open. We're going to pull out our handy dandy Buck 715, and let's just do a little cut. We don't want to cut the little sheath that comes with it up, so we're just going to go very easy around the edge of the plastic here, you know, because we want to be careful and we don't want to wreck anything. Even if we did, like, it's made to go in your wallet, and I don't think that the little plasticky sheath thing that's supposed to be in there would fit in your wallet. So let's get this bad boy opened up. Alright, let's take a look. Peel this open here, and man, that thing has got some stiffness to it, but it's a chunk of steel. Let's take a look-see here. Alright, here's our tool. Now, it's pretty decently thick little piece of metal. I think that it would fit in your wallet pretty nicely. It does have the bottle top opener on there, which is kind of cool. I don't know, the saw blade's a pretty brutal looking little saw blade. I don't know if I'd want to try to cut through a tree with that. Let's see what we got here. We got this little chunk of wood right here. Alright, let's take a look, see how our saw blade does. Huh. It might take you some time, but look at that. I mean, it's already in there pretty good. We got our nice little notch there from that saw blade. Shoot, you know, if you were going to tie a piece of string around the end of a stick and you wanted to hold it on there and have it in one spot, that's how you do it. You know, you put a little notch in there. That'd be great for that. And it goes right through. And it's got these double tooth actions, so it kind of moves the sawdust everywhere. It's kind of cool. All right. It's got, this is a 4-position hex wrench. It doesn't give you the sizes, but, you know, I mean, if you're working with something that small, I don't know what you'd be trying to take the bolts off of if you were in a survival situation. I suppose maybe in an urban survival situation, if you're trying to open some kind of box that was bolted together with tiny bolts and you wanted to sit and spin your card, that might work. Here's a 2-position hex wrench on there as well. You got your little UST mark, which is fancy. This is what they're calling, this slot right here is what they're calling a butterfly wrench. Maybe for the wing nuts. I don't know, but we'll have to take a look into that and find out what that thing's really for. Maybe in a future video I'll explain what a butterfly wrench is. We got our little lanyard hole here. This is a nice little knife blade, and it is actually fairly decently sharp. You know, if you can look at this thing, if you were to get in a knockdown drag out, what you'd want to do is hold it like this, you know, and then go after him with that can opener and that knife edge. But I don't recommend fighting with your hand on a saw blade. Anyway, but if you were in a, like, stuck and this was all you had, you know, maybe you'd be a little bit scary, a little bit more intimidating than just punching them in the face with one of these big fists. So let's take a look at that knife blade and see how it does. Alright, so we got this little deal here. I mean, it's kind of on the edge of it. I wouldn't want to whittle with it. Yeah, it will cut a notch. There it goes. Not terrible. I mean, you've got no control over it because you've got no handle. If you really had to cut a piece of, I don't know, twine or cordage, that would be perfectly fine for that. Or even the saw blade might work for that. And the reason being that it's not perfect is that it's a single bevel and that it's in this big thick piece of metal. So it's a really, really hard angle on that bevel. This is what they're calling the ancillary direction indicator, and I'm thinking they mean it's a sundial. I'm not completely certain. I'm gonna have to take a look and tell you about it in a different video. I'm sorry. This is more of a we yank them out, we take a look, we see if we think that they're useful or not kind of deal, and maybe in another video I will let you know what that thing works as. But I think what you do is you see this little notch right here is you take a stick and you put it in there, and then you find the sunlight and east and west and yada yada, you know, the sun sets on one side and comes up in the other, and that's how you figure out which way you're going. Which will work, except that you have to remember that the sun moves, so you don't walk in a circle, because that could happen. Let's see here. We've got a 4-centimeter ruler. I can't see that. I don't know what I would want to use that for in a survival situation, a 4-centimeter ruler. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy. And like measuring things in the woods when you're starving or freezing to death is super important to you. Maybe you're obsessive compulsive. I'm not meaning to make a joke out of that. People do have obsessive compulsive disorder. Maybe, you know, knowing that 4 centimeters goes from this piece of plastic to the end of this piece of cardboard might be useful to you. The can opener's can opener. You know, it's got the hook, it's got the sharp thing, it cranks like this, just like all the other can openers you look at. It's a pretty interesting little deal. It's not gonna bend anytime soon. I mean, you have to work at it. Seems to be a pretty interesting little piece of gear. Well, I might stick this in my wallet, and we'll see if having that extra thickness in my wallet is annoying. And if it's not, then maybe I'll just leave it in there just in case. You know, there are some places where you go through a metal detector, and they have you take your wallet out and stick it in a box and slide down the side of the detector, and it doesn't go with you through the detector. And maybe having a little knife blade in your pocket, in your wallet, might be handy in a place like that. Not that I'm advocating breaking the rules. I'm just saying that if you were in an urban survival situation and you were in a building that they did that sort of thing in, and this just slid through with your wallet, well, that would be something, wouldn't it? You'd have some kind of tool with you. Anyway, so that's kind of cool. I say we give it a completely arbitrary number. We'll call it a 3 out of 5 because the saw blade worked pretty nicely. The knife is kind of sharp. And if you do find beer when you are lost, you're going to want to drink it. And that's how you're going to do it right there, especially if it's good beer. All right, this has been Z-Town Train. This is Just a Basic Dude Vlog reviews the Survival Card Tool 0.5 from UST. You guys have a great day. Peace. I am out. Have a nice day.